In a distant future, humanity has ventured into the vastness of space, colonizing distant planets and interacting with various alien species. Among these species is the Zinthari, a proud and noble race known for their advanced technology and rich cultural heritage. However, peace is fragile, and tensions rise as different factions vie for power. Our story begins on the planet Zinthar, where a simple human soldier named Jake finds himself in an extraordinary situation that will change the course of his life forever. Jake is stationed at a military base on Zinthar, where he serves as part of the human expeditionary force. He looks out at the alien landscape, a mix of breathtaking beauty and palpable tension. The soldiers around him are preparing for an important diplomatic event, the arrival of the Zinthari princess Lyra. Despite the excitement, Jake feels out of place among the advanced technology and alien customs. He dreams of adventure but is stuck in the routine of military life, cleaning weapons and following orders. Little does he know that fate has plans to thrust him into the heart of an intergalactic conflict. As Jake goes through his daily tasks, he overhears whispers of unrest within the Zinthari government. The ruling class is struggling to maintain control amidst growing dissatisfaction among the populace. He feels a mix of curiosity and apprehension. The military base is a hive of activity, soldiers discussing strategies and rumors of rebellion. The tension is palpable as the news spreads that Princess Lyra will be visiting for a diplomatic event aimed at solidifying human-Zinthari relations. Jake can't shake the feeling that something is off. As he prepares for the event, he meets other soldiers, sharing stories and laughter to ease the tension. Among them is his friend Marcus, who expresses his excitement about meeting the princess. Jake, however, feels a sense of foreboding. He wonders if his presence here is merely a coincidence, or if it's the beginning of something much larger than himself. The night before the event, he dreams of the princess, her face radiant and full of hope. Little does he know that their destinies are intertwined in ways he could never have imagined. The day of the event arrives, and the base is transformed into a vibrant celebration of culture and diplomacy. The atmosphere is electric, with anticipation as soldiers and officials gather, eagerly awaiting the arrival of Princess Lyra. She is known throughout the galaxy, not only for her beauty, but also for her intelligence and strong sense of justice. As the moment approaches, Jake can't help but feel drawn to her, even from a distance. He watches as the Zinthari dignitaries arrive, their elegant attire reflecting their heritage. When Princess Lyra steps onto the platform, the crowd erupts in cheers. She is a vision of grace and authority, and Jake feels a strange connection, as if their fates are intertwined. Her presence commands respect, and her speeches inspire hope among the crowd. Yet, Jake's instincts tell him that danger is lurking beneath the surface. As the event unfolds, he notices unusual movements in the crowd, glances exchanged, whispers carried on the wind. The Zinthari people adore their princess, but a dark undercurrent of rebellion simmers beneath their loyalty. Unknown to Jake, various factions seek to disrupt the peace and reclaim power for themselves. Tensions rise as the princess addresses the crowd, promising a new era of cooperation between humans and Zinthari. But shadows gather, and the celebration is soon to be interrupted by forces that threaten everything. Just as Princess Lyra begins to speak, chaos erupts. A group of masked rebels infiltrates the event, their intentions clear as they unleash an attack aimed at assassinating the princess. Panic spreads like wildfire as soldiers rush to protect the dignitaries. Jake's instincts kick in. Without a second thought, he leaps into action, navigating through the crowd, his heart racing. The sight of the chaos and the cries of the crowd push him forward. He knows he must do something to protect the princess. Amidst the chaos, Jake spots Lyra surrounded by her guards, who are struggling to fend off the attackers. In a moment of clarity, he races toward her, dodging debris and avoiding panicked civilians. The rebels are armed with advanced weaponry, but Jake uses his training to navigate the battlefield. He reaches the princess just as one of the rebels lunges at her. In a split-second decision, he tackles the assailant, grappling for control. The struggle is intense, and Jake's military training kicks in as he manages to disarm the rebel. With a swift move, he knocks the attacker unconscious. Breathing heavily, he turns to Princess Lyra, who looks at him with wide eyes, a mixture of gratitude and astonishment. In that moment, a bond forms between them, forged in the fires of conflict. As the chaos continues around them, Jake realizes that he has just done something far beyond his duties as a soldier. He has saved a life, and that act will resonate through the cosmos in ways he cannot yet fathom. As the dust settles and the last of the rebels is subdued, the military base is left in disarray. Emergency teams scramble to assess the situation, tending to the injured and securing the area. Princess Lyra stands before the gathered soldiers, her face a mixture of relief and concern. Jake, still catching his breath, is hailed as a hero by his fellow soldiers. The princess approaches him, her eyes shining with gratitude. "Thank you," she says, her voice steady despite the chaos. "You saved my life." Jake feels a rush of pride mixed with disbelief. He had never expected to be in this position, standing before a royal figure, let alone having saved her. As they speak, Lyra's demeanor shifts from that of a princess to a person grappling with the reality of what just happened. The attack was not just a random act of violence, it was a sign of the deep-seated issues within her kingdom. The news of the attack spreads quickly, and Jake finds himself surrounded by curious soldiers and reporters, eager to hear about his heroics. The media spins the narrative, painting Jake as the brave soldier who thwarted an assassination attempt. However, behind the scenes, the political ramifications begin to unfold. The Zinthari Council convenes to discuss the implications of the attack, and Lyra insists that Jake be recognized for his bravery. Little does he know, this recognition will lead to unforeseen consequences that will change his life forever. In the days following the attack, the atmosphere at the military base shifts dramatically. What began as a routine posting has now turned into a whirlwind of political intrigue and media attention. Jake becomes an overnight sensation, hailed as a hero across the galaxy. Yet, amidst the accolades, he grapples with the reality of the situation. He never sought fame or recognition. He simply acted on instinct. Princess Lyra, meanwhile, is faced with her own challenges. The council convenes to discuss the attack, and they see Jake's heroics as an opportunity to strengthen the alliance between humans and Zinthari. In a surprising move, Lyra proposes a royal decree to honor Jake not only for his bravery, but to formalize the relationship between their worlds. The council debates the idea, but Lyra's passionate speech about unity and courage sways them. They decide to bestow upon Jake an honorary title, a position that would symbolize the bond between the two races. When Jake learns about the decree, he is taken aback. The idea of being honored in such a way feels surreal. He is just a soldier, a simple human who found himself in extraordinary circumstances. As the ceremony approaches, he grapples with his new role. He worries about the expectations that come with such recognition and whether he is truly worthy of it. Meanwhile, Lyra prepares for the event, hopeful that this gesture will unite their worlds and heal the rifts caused by the rebellion. The day of the ceremony arrives, and the atmosphere is charged with anticipation. The grand hall of the Zinthari Palace is adorned with decorations, and dignitaries from across the galaxy gather to witness the momentous occasion. Jake stands nervously at the front, his heart pounding as he contemplates the weight of the title he is about to receive. Beside him, Princess Lyra offers a reassuring smile, her presence calming his nerves. As the ceremony begins, the council members take their places, and Lyra addresses the audience, recounting the harrowing events of the attack and Jake's heroics. She speaks passionately about courage, unity, and the importance of standing together in the face of adversity. Her words resonate with the crowd, and Jake feels a swell of pride. When it's finally time for the official proclamation, Lyra calls Jake forward, and the crowd erupts in applause. With a formal tone, she announces him as the honorary protector of Zinthar, a title that symbolizes the alliance between humans and Zinthari. As the ceremonial medallion is placed around his neck, Jake feels the weight of responsibility settle upon him. The crowd cheers, but inside, he wrestles with self-doubt. How can he live up to this title? As the ceremony concludes, Lyra turns to him, her eyes sparkling with determination. Together, they vow to strengthen the bond between their people, setting the stage for a partnership that could change the galaxy. Following the ceremony, Jake is thrust into a world of responsibility he never anticipated. As the honorary protector, he is invited to meetings with Zinthari leaders, tasked with bridging the gap between the two races. Initially, Jake struggles to find his footing. The political landscape is intricate, filled with nuances that are foreign to him. He feels like an outsider, navigating a world where every decision carries significant weight. Princess Lyra becomes his guide, helping him understand the complexities of Zinthari politics and culture. They spend hours discussing strategies to address the discontent brewing among the populace. Lyra's insights are invaluable, and slowly, Jake begins to appreciate the depth of the situation. He learns that the rebellion is not just about power, it's about the people's desire for a voice in their government. As they work together, a bond forms between Jake and Lyra, forged through shared experiences and mutual respect. They find moments of levity amidst the serious discussions, sharing stories of their respective worlds. Jake opens up about his life on Earth, while Lyra reveals the pressures she faces as a royal. Their friendship deepens, and Jake starts to feel a sense of belonging he had longed for since arriving on Zinthar. Despite their efforts to promote unity, the tensions among the Zinthari factions continue to escalate. News of the royal decree spreads, and not all factions are pleased with the growing bond between humans and Zinthari. Some view it as a betrayal of their heritage, while others see it as a threat to their power. Jake and Lyra receive increasingly alarming reports of protests and unrest across the planet, and they know they must act quickly to address the concerns of the people. Determined to foster dialogue, Jake proposes a series of town hall meetings where citizens can voice their grievances. Lyra supports the idea, recognizing the importance of giving the people a platform to express their thoughts. Together, they travel to various regions of Zinthar, meeting with citizens from all walks of life. The response is mixed. Some are hopeful for change, while others are skeptical of the royal family's intentions. During one meeting, tensions boil over when a faction leader confronts Jake directly. The accusation that he is an outsider trying to impose human ideals on their culture strikes a nerve. Jake defends himself passionately, explaining his commitment to fostering a partnership based on mutual respect. Lyra stands beside him, reinforcing the message that they are allies, not adversaries. Their united front resonates with many, but the dissent lingers, reminding them of the delicate balance they must maintain. As Jake and Lyra continue their efforts to build bridges, a betrayal lurks in the shadows. Unbeknownst to them, a faction leader named Kieran is secretly orchestrating plans to undermine their alliance. Kieran believes that the only way to restore Zinthari pride is to eliminate the human influence and reclaim power for the Zinthari elite. He recruits disillusioned citizens, stoking their fears and convincing them that the alliance is a threat to their culture and identity. One evening, while reviewing reports of the town hall meetings, Jake receives a tip about a secret gathering of Kieran's followers. Torn between duty and the potential for danger, he decides to investigate. Disguised in civilian clothing, he and Lyra venture into the heart of the dissenting region, their hearts racing with anticipation and anxiety. As they navigate the dimly lit streets, Jake's instincts kick in, and he senses that they are being watched. They find the gathering taking place in an abandoned warehouse, filled with disgruntled citizens rallying behind Kieran's rhetoric. Hidden in the shadows, Jake and Lyra listen as Kieran incites fear and distrust toward humans. The crowd's anger grows, and Jake realizes they must act quickly to defuse the situation before it escalates into violence. With a determined look, Lyra signals to Jake, and they step into the light, ready to confront the growing storm head-on. As Jake and Lyra enter the warehouse, the atmosphere shifts dramatically. The crowd, initially captivated by Kieran's words, turns to see the princess and her human protector. Gasps ripple through the assembly, and whispers of confusion and anger fill the air. Kieran's expression darkens as he realizes that his carefully constructed narrative is about to unravel. The tension is palpable, and Jake can feel the weight of the moment pressing down on him. Lyra steps forward, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "We are not here to take away your culture or your voice. We stand with you, united against those who would seek to divide us." Her words ignite a flicker of hope in some, but fuel the fire in others. Tiran, refusing to back down, steps in front of Lyra, challenging her authority. You think you can come here and tell us how to live? You're the invader, not our savior. The crowd murmurs, divided between support for the princess and the call to arms from Tiran. In a desperate bid to regain control, Tiran raises a weapon, declaring that only through force can they reclaim their identity. Chaos erupts as the crowd reacts, some rallying behind Tiran, while others look to Lyra and Jake for guidance. In the midst of the turmoil, Jake's military training kicks in, and he instinctively moves to protect Lyra, knowing that their lives are at stake. The warehouse descends into chaos as Tiran's followers clash with those loyal to Lyra. Jake fights with a sense of urgency, his instincts guiding him through the melee. He swiftly navigates through the crowd, protecting Lyra as she tries to reach the people, urging them to see the truth. We can build a better future together, she calls out, her voice rising above the noise. Amidst the chaos, Jake finds himself face to face with Tiran. The faction leader is fueled by rage, desperate to maintain his control. You're nothing but a pawn, human. This is our world, not yours. Tiran lunges at Jake, and the two engage in a fierce struggle. Jake's training shines through as he deflects Tiran's attacks, using his agility to outmaneuver the larger opponent. With each strike, Jake recalls the faces of the people they are trying to unite, the hopes they share for a peaceful future. As he gains the upper hand, he realizes that this fight is not just about him or Lyra, it's about the fate of two worlds intertwined. With one final push, Jake disarms Tiran, sending him crashing to the ground. The crowd hesitates, their eyes shifting between their fallen leader and the duo fighting for their future. As the dust begins to settle, Jake stands over Tiran, the cries of the crowd fading into a tense silence. The realization of what has transpired weighs heavily on him. Lyra steps forward, her presence commanding attention as she addresses the crowd. This is not how we find strength. We are not enemies. We must unite, not divide. Her words echo in the hushed space, and slowly, the crowd begins to comprehend the gravity of their actions. Jake extends his hand to Tiran, who is still on the ground, defeated but defiant. This isn't the answer, Tiran. We can choose a different path. The crowd watches intently, waiting to see how Tiran will respond. After a moment, Tiran meets Jake's gaze, the fire in his eyes dimming as he realizes the futility of his anger. With a deep breath, Tiran accepts Jake's hand, rising to his feet. The tension in the air shifts as the crowd reacts, some expressing their disbelief, while others cautiously applaud the gesture. Lyra steps forward, standing alongside Jake and Tiran. Let this be a turning point, she declares. We are stronger together, and it's time to heal the wounds of the past. The crowd begins to murmur, their apprehensions fading as they recognize the possibility of unity. Slowly but surely, they begin to understand that the future does not have to be defined by conflict. In that moment, Jake realizes that he has not only saved Lyra but also paved the way for a new era of collaboration and understanding. In the weeks that follow, Zinthar undergoes a transformation. The attack that threatened to tear them apart becomes a catalyst for change. Jake, Lyra, and Tiran work tirelessly to rebuild trust among the factions. The town hall meetings continue, allowing citizens to voice their concerns, fostering dialogue that promotes understanding and unity. As Jake spends more time with Lyra and Tiran, he witnesses the complexities of Zinthari culture. He learns about their rich history, their struggles, and their aspirations for the future. The bond between him and Lyra deepens, evolving from friendship into something profound. They support each other through the challenges, united by a shared vision of hope. Jake realizes he has become more than just an honorary protector. He is a bridge between worlds, someone who embodies the spirit of collaboration. The people begin to see him as one of their own, and he finds a sense of belonging that he had yearned for since his arrival on Zinthar. Lyra, too, grows into her role as a leader, her confidence shining as she inspires her people. On the day of the Unity Festival, the atmosphere is electric. Citizens from all factions gather to celebrate their newfound harmony. Lyra stands alongside Jake and Tiran, her heart swelling with pride as she addresses the crowd. Today, we celebrate our differences and embrace the strength that comes from unity. Together, we can shape a brighter future for all. As fireworks light up the sky, Jake realizes that the journey was not without its struggles, but every challenge brought them closer together. He looks at Lyra, her face illuminated by the vibrant colors, and knows that they have forged a path that transcends their worlds, creating a legacy of hope for generations to come.